Are you trying to manifest a specific goal, but it doesn't matter how hard you try or what you do, it is just not showing up? In this video, I'm going to show you the one thing that you're missing that will help your manifestations come so much quicker and so much better as well. Our relationship to our goals is a bit like our relationship to going to sleep. The harder you try to go to sleep, the more you worry that you're not asleep, and then you end up worrying that you're going to be tired for the next day. And that's a little bit like our relationship with our goals. The more we think about our goals, the more we worry that they're not going to happen. And then we end up thinking that we're basically failures and focus on the lack of them not being there. In this video, I'm going to be talking about understanding attachments, the art of letting go, shifting your focus, and finally, how to let it in. So let's get into it. With the law of attraction, there are 3 stages. Number 1 is asking, which is something that you will do regardless of whether you want to or not. Number 2 is the universe answering. Again, something that is way out of your control and something that is nothing to do with you. But number 3 is exactly your responsibility, and that is to get in the receiving mode. To get into the receiving mode, all you have to do is to detach from what you are manifesting. But first, why is it so hard to let go of our attachments to what we desire? A lot of us can hold on to our desires because we are so scared that if we stop thinking about them, that they will no longer come to us. But by being afraid that something won't happen only attracts more of the lack that you're already experiencing. Abraham Hicks talks about scenarios as a stick, and when we pick up a scenario, we either focus on the lack of it or the abundance side of it. And most of the time, because we are already feeling lack, we tend to stay in the lack side of it by default. For example, when we're trying to attract more money, that's usually because we're focusing on the money that we don't have, such as when bills come in and you feel like you can't pay them, you're focusing on the fact that you can't pay them. Rather than feeling like an abundant person, we tend to stay in the one that's most obvious to us, which is the bills right in front of us not being able to be paid, and therefore we attract more of the same energy we are permitting. But the trick is to focus on the feelings that you want to feel rather than the ones that are happening because of your immediate reaction. Another reason why we find it hard to let go of our manifestations is because we have the I'll be happy when mentality, which is something I am so guilty of. When I was younger, all I used to say is I'll be happy when I have this and I'll be happy when I've done that. And trust me, that time never comes, because when you get what you want, you then start thinking about the next thing you want and then the next thing. And I've definitely had it where I've reached moments in my life where I thought, oh my God, I'm in such a good place. But whilst I'm experiencing that moment, I'm like, oh, okay, what's the next thing I'll be doing? So we need to get rid of the expectations and focus on the now. We have to see ourselves as magnets, and whatever our point of focus is exactly what we're manifesting. If we're focusing on the lack of money, we're only going to get more lack of money. So we need to switch over to the other side of the stick, to the abundance feeling of what you want. Okay, so we understand more about our attachment to our goals, but now we need to learn about the art of letting go. The art of letting go is so important because it is literally our one job to what we need to do to the universe, because 1 and 2 are out of our control. We're either doing them anyway or it's nothing to do with us. But the art of letting go, the receiving mode, is very much our responsibility. When we get into receiving mode, we are allowing a source that is so much bigger than us and has so much more information to guide us, to get us to our goals so much quicker. Rather than repeating this lackful mindset, we need to be adopting the mindset that it's going to happen no matter what. The best way I think to look at it is like putting out an order, a clothes order online. You place the order, maybe it's a brand new dress that you can't wait to wear. It's like how you would choose your desires, and you'd write down on a piece of paper, I want this and that, and then you place your order. And once you place your order, you're not stressing if it's going to come or when it's going to come or how it's going to come. You just sit back and relax and know that it's on its way. And it's going to come exactly how you wanted it to come. And if it doesn't, then that's not the right thing for you. So we need to take on this mindset that asking for something from the universe is like ordering a dress online. Another thing that I do when I start to doubt myself or start thinking, oh, it's not showing up yet, where is it? Is think to myself, it is this or something better, because then that releases any tension or any doubt that is in my mind, because I know 100% it's coming, and if it isn't, then it's something better. And it releases all of the restriction and frustration that I'm feeling, and then it helps me let go so much easier. It's like saying to the universe, okay, I have done everything I can do now, it is over to you. And sometimes I find that just helps so much, because I think we all put so much pressure on ourselves to do everything we need to do and to take on every sort of activity we can to get where we want. And sometimes everything we do might not be working because it might not be the right time, or we might not be in the right place that we need to be to get what we want. And so to say to the universe, okay, I'm leaving it to you, really helps you take the responsibility and the weight off your shoulders, and it will come when it's ready, because whatever is meant for you will always find its way to you. Living in the present is so powerful, and that is because the present is all we will ever experience. Anything that we want to manifest will only ever show up in the moment that we are in, and therefore when we are not focused on the things that are happening around us, we can miss opportunities that are put in our way for a reason. We can miss opportunities that are right in front of us without even realising. I think sometimes a lot of us are waiting for a big moment in time to come and stop us in our tracks and make us realise that the opportunity is here and we need to act on it now. But a lot of the time, that isn't always the case, and some of the key moments in my life have been because I've just taken up on the opportunity right there and then. Such as when I've been having a conversation with people and they've mentioned that they're either from a certain place or they know a certain website that might be relevant to me. And it wasn't until I've acted on those quite minuscule moments that they've become much bigger events. So when we're living in the present, we can be so much more aware of what's going on around us and think about opportunities that we would have missed if we hadn't been present. Another way that I like to detach from what I'm manifesting and let go is to become the person that I would be if I already had the things I want. I will usually meditate in the morning, where I set the energy up for the person that I want to become for the day. And then throughout the day, it can be sometimes challenging to stay in that because of the habits that I've already created throughout the years. So one way that I find easier is to create timers on my phone to remind myself to be the person that I want to be. And when these timers go off, it's like an instant reminder to think, how am I feeling and what can I do to be more like the person that has the things I want? Okay, so let's talk about shifting your focus. Sometimes when we're trying to manifest certain things, such as maybe a new job or money, it can hold a lot of resistance and cause stress. And that's usually because we hold them with such high regard and with so much power. And so when we're in that place of frustration and resistance, we have to step away from those feelings in order to manifest. And so we have to shift our focus. And the best way to do that is to go and focus on things that are already working in your life. If you're trying to manifest more money and you're constantly thinking about the fact that you don't have enough money, you're only going to get more of that. So what's working in your life? And this can be really simple, such as the sun's coming up in the morning, or you had a really nice meal with someone the other day. It can be as general or specific as you want it to be, but the point is that you're now focusing on things that are already working, and that will attract more things to work. When I'm feeling stress or resistance, I like to play with my animals, or I will go and spend time with friends, because they cause me a lot less resistance and stress. Whenever you're feeling that real resistance that is built up and stress, and even sometimes can cause you to get really upset, especially if it's something that you want so much, the best thing I find to do is to just go to sleep. Abraham Hicks talks about this as well, and says that when you're feeling that real wound up energy that's built up over maybe some time or events that have gone on, it's sometimes best to just let go and just go to sleep, because that's the easiest way to stop the resistance and the momentum of the emotions going. The energy that we permit out to the universe is so important, because we get exactly the same energy back. So whenever you can, be aware of the emotions you're permitting, change your focus when necessary, and remember that when you're feeling happiness or excitement, you can't be feeling worry or shame at the same time. I bet you didn't know that there is an endless stream of ideas that are waiting to come to you so that you can fulfill your goal or desire that you have. You know, when you get that idea out of nowhere and you're thinking, where did that even come from? Well, that is exactly where. It's crazy to think that somewhere there is an answer to how you're going to get to where you are now, to where you want to be. And the only thing you have to do to find that answer is to listen to your intuition. But listening to your intuition can be so difficult when you're constantly distracted or trying to control the thoughts that are going on inside your head. Our inspired thoughts are like butterflies wanting to come and land on us, but every time they come close, we're wanting to reach out and grab it. And it isn't until we sit quietly and patiently that the butterfly will come over and land on us and settle. Have you ever noticed how all your best ideas come to you when you're going to sleep at night or when you're having a shower? The best way to make these thoughts come when you actually want them to come is to sit quietly in a quiet room and focus either on your breath or on a spot on the floor or the wall, and just take time to just be in the moment. Because this allows your mind to just bring in ideas that aren't being shut down by other things that are going on in your life. A lot of people really get confused with the law of attraction, and they think everything is about imagining something and letting it just turn up. But that is just not the way it is. Action is a massive part of the law of attraction, but the difference between the action that you're taking and usual action is that this time it's inspired by something so much greater than you, so that things can happen at a much quicker rate. And by letting go, you're allowing that voice come into your mind, and you can take the inspired action and get somewhere so much quicker. It can be really difficult at times when you really want something to move away from this frustration and annoyance that it's not already happened. But by shifting your focus and by taking control of your own emotions, by focusing on things that are already working or things that aren't holding so much power, you can then allow space for other inspiration to come through. And that brings me to the end of the video. I just know if I had all this information when I was younger, I would have saved so much time and so much pain over feeling so frustrated over what I want, because I felt like I had to control everything. I've got such strong memories of just sitting in my car and just being like, why is it not coming? Like, where is it gonna come from? And to be able to know that letting go and moving away from the feelings of frustration can make it happen so much quicker has helped me so much. So I hope that's helped you too, and if it has, don't forget to leave a comment down below of either what you've learned or something else that you want to share. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Goodbye!